Hello, students. I am Professor Hina Chadha, Principal, Department of Pharmacy, Vishweshriya Group of Institutions. I'll be covering the topic angina. Students, angina is a symptom, it's not a disease, and it comes under the category of cardiovascular disease because it is linked to the heart and blood vessels. Further, as angina is basically because of loss of oxygen, so one more category is given to it, that is ischemic heart disease. Ischemia is loss of oxygen, absence of oxygen in a particular area, in a particular tissue, in a particular cell. So angina comes under the category of ischemic heart disease as there is a loss of oxygen in a particular area and the heart needs more oxygen to pump, but the amount of oxygen which the heart is getting is less. So the imbalance creates irritation, palpitation, pain and suffocation in particular area of the heart. Students, as the picture is showing, red color is depicting the exact position of the heart, and this is where the pain mainly stays back. As I have already told you that pain is the main clinical feature which is observed in angina, and angina itself is not a disease. It is the consequence of many pathological diseases conditions of the heart, like atherosclerosis triggers angina, hyperlipidemia triggers angina, increased BP, that is hypertension, triggers angina. Students, more to add to it, angina, the more clinical features which are observed is heavy, tight, gripping feeling in the position of the heart, and that is mainly in the central and retrosternal area. This is central, and retrosternum is little back of it. Retro is back and sternal is sternum ke piche. So the pain is so severe that it may produce sweating and a feeling of fear in the human being. According to the authorities, like medical associations, they have given the classification of angina, which is known as functional classification, which is depicting the features which are observed in the type of angina. Class 1 is no angina with ordinary activity. No activity, no angina. But if there is an activity, and that too strenuous activity, full of work, rigorous walking, cycling, physical movements, then class 1 angina results. Class 2 is ordinary activity also triggers angina attack, that is walking up hills, walking rapidly upstairs, mild limitation of the activities. Class 3 angina with low levels of activity, like little moving from 50 to 100 yards, walking up one flight of stairs and Very restricted activity can also trigger angina attack in class 3 stage of angina. Class 4, even in the rest position, the angina will occur. It does not require exercise. So, coming to the pathophysiology part, that is how the disease progresses. Pathophysiology is how the disease progresses. As the picture is showing, atherosclerosis. As the picture is showing, atherosclerosis, arterial spasm, atherosclerosis, plaque splitting, and thrombosis, they all result in a condition known as ischemia, and which results in hypoxia, and finally the reduced oxygen demand and result of angina is there. Atherosclerosis, I have already discussed that it results in a situation of a plaque, your deposition of the plaque in the blood vessels, which results in obstruction. Similarly, arterial spasm results in sudden reversible obstruction. This is the spasm is involuntary movements of the arteries which suddenly creates obstruction of oxygen and results in ischemia. Third is atherosclerosis plaque, which is increased size of plaque which might burst up during the flow of the blood, and that might create a blockade in the flow of blood in the arteries. So that may also result in ischemia, hypoxia, and reduced oxygen demand. Finally, thrombolysis, that is destructions of the RBCs, and finally an attack of angina may precipitate. Again, which we discussed previously was functional classification. Now we'll be discussing types of angina. Stable angina, as the name is suggesting, no frequent episodes are seen. The condition of the patient normally remains normal. There is a very little few episodes of stable of pain or discomfort in the patient. Unstable angina is deterioration in previous stable angina with symptoms frequently occurring at rest. This is known as acute coronary syndrome. Acute coronary syndrome is there is a disturbance in the blood flow and the patient suddenly gets the pain in the chest, and that is at the pace where he is in a resting mode. He is not moving, he is not working hard, he is just relaxing, and there is a sudden attack. And the condition of stable angina, when deteriorates, it results in unstable angina. Refractory angina is very refractory. The name is suggesting suddenly and a very short period of time. The symptoms are very intense, and the attack is very intense, so that there is an emergency to take the patient to the hospital, otherwise the conditions become really fatal. Prinzmetal or variant angina, this angina is totally different, and it occurs only at the rest time. So students, you have must have heard in the सोसाइटी दैट रात को ठीक से सोते हैं और सुबह उठ नहीं पाए हैं, तो उस तरीके का एंजाइना जो होता है वो प्रिंसमेटल और वेरिएंट एंजाइना होता है, जो कि अर्ली मॉर्निंग के आवर्स में पेशेंट में जनरेट होता है। रात भर वो रिलैक्स मोड में रहे हैं, सोए हैं ठीक से और सुबह वो उठ नहीं पाए हैं। क्लिनिकल फीचर्स ये हम ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं। इसके साथ साथ जो हमने पेन, एंग्जाइटी, फियर, शॉर्टनेस ऑफ ब्रेथ, ये सब बात करी थी। इसके साथ साथ हमें ये भी देखना पड़ता है क्लिनिकल फीचर में कि अगर हम कोई मेडिकेशन दे रहे हैं तो पेशेंट को वॉल डिजीज़ ना हो, एओर्टिक वॉल डिजीज़ ना हो, लेफ़्ट वेंट्रिकुलर डिसफंक्शन ना हो, मतलब उसके वेंट्रिकल्स में स्पेशली लेफ़्ट वाले में कोई प्रॉब्लम ना हो, लाइक कार्डियोमेगली, हार्ट का साइज़ बढ़ना, आर्टीरियल डिजीज़ एंड many other common symptoms like anemia, thyrotoxicosis, hypertension and diabetes mellitus. Now coming to the investigation. The investigation patterns involves, first is resting ECG, second is exercise ECG. Resting ECG may show evidence of previous MI and is often normal even in patients severe with CAD. तो इसमें हम जो रेस्टिंग ECG है, इसमें हम फ्लैटनिंग ऑफ टी वेव को देखते हैं, हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है, ST सेगमेंट डिप्रेशन या एलिवेशन हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है। तो वेव्स का पैटर्न चेक करने के लिए हम रेस्टिंग ECG, नॉर्मल रेस्ट करते हुए ECG लेते हैं। एक्सरसाइज ECG हम ट्रेडमिल पे पेशेंट को भगाते हैं with the bicycle or treadmill, and then we record the ECG and we look for the planar or down sloping ST segment, up sloping ST depression, and we monitor the BP conditions also. As the picture is showing, the patient is running, allowed to run. First he'll run on the normal flat scale and then he'll be allowed to run on the slope and ECG will be monitored. Another form of investigation is stress testing, and second is coronary arteriography, in which the blood vessels, arteries are monitored under local anesthesia. This is one more form, that is coronary angiography. Coronary angiography, the picture first is showing that the blood vessels which are moving towards the heart, the catheter is inserted in the leg and guided up to the aorta. The catheter is inserted from the heart, so lower side of the arteries which go to the aorta with oxygenated blood are introduced through the leg. Catheter tips stops at the left coronary artery, और catheter ये जैसे इस पिक्चर में दिख रहा है, this catheter stops at the tip of left coronary artery, and contrast agent. Through this catheter we are introducing radioisotope material and X-rays imaging. X-rays are taken through that. If there is a stoppage or the pigment of the blockade site of where there is a blockade, then the radioactive material will get attached to that site and we'll get the pictures through X-ray or MRI. Management. Various parameters are considered for management of angina. First of all, we have to make lifestyle changes. Quit smoking, maintain blood pressure. Hyperlipidemia should be controlled through diet, and many other medications are available which helps in controlling all these things. First is antiplatelet therapy. Aspirin and clopidogrel are the drug of choice. 75 milligrams is the dose. Second is anti-inguinal drugs, which include 5 classes of drug. First and most preferred is nitrates. Glyceryl trinitrate is the drug which are given under the mouth so that it can be absorbed immediately, as the surface area of the tongue is below the tongue is too good, so the absorption rate of the drug is faster, and we need the drugs at the time of the angina attack to work in a very fast manner. So nitrates are given through buccal cavity, beta blockers are given, calcium antagonists are given, potassium channel activators and IF channel antagonists. Nitrates act on vascular smooth muscles to produce venous and arteriolar dilatation. What they do is reduction in myocardial oxygen demand, increase in myocardial oxygen supply, and prophylactically before taking exercise that is liable to provoke symptoms. क्योंकि नाइट्रेट्स डिलिटेशन का काम करते हैं, तो इसलिए द मेजर साइड इफेक्ट caused by nitrates is headache. So if we are giving the drugs on regular basis, we have to avoid it minimum for 6 to 8 hours in nitrate free period. Nocturnal angina, that is long lasting nitrates, can be given at the end of the day, at the time when we are sleeping. These are the forms of nitrates. Beta blockers, they also perform the same activity, that is reduce the myocardial oxygen demand, and they control heart rate, blood pressure, myocardial contractility as well. Next is calcium antagonist. These drugs inhibit the slow inward current caused by the entry of extracellular calcium through cell membrane. The entry of the calcium inside the membrane is inhibited, as it is antagonist, so it inhibits the entry. If it had been agonist, calcium agonist, it would have been improved the entry of the calcium inside, but these are antagonists of calcium, so they will stop the entry or limit the entry of the calcium inside the cell membrane, particularly cardiac and arteriolar smooth muscles, and decreases the oxygen demand. The drugs which act through this is nifedipine, nicardipine and amlodipine, verapamil, diltiazem. Next is potassium channel activators. These activators, they activate the entry of potassium, so control arterial and venous arteries and veins की dilating properties को increase करते हैं. Nicorandil is the drug, 10 to 30 milligrams, 12 hours orally is given. Next is IF channel antagonist. The major drug is ivabradine, and these are the first of this class of drug, and induces bradycardia, decrease the heart rate को decrease करते हैं, और by modulating ion channels. साइनस नोड में जहाँ पर AP जनरेट होता है, एक्शन पोटेंशियल जनरेट होता है, वहाँ पर आयंस की मूवमेंट को मॉड्यूलेट करते हैं. This we have already discussed, dear students. If the medical treatment is not sufficient, then we'll move for surgeries like percutaneous coronary intervention. That is, I'll be showing through the figure. This has been shown in figure B. The catheter is being inserted in the arteries, and yellow color is the plaque. जो एथेरोस्क्लेरोटिक प्लाक की हम बात करते हैं वो यही है, आर्टरीज में डिपॉजिट रहता है. जैसे ही हमने कैथेटर इंट्रोड्यूस करा वैसे ही कैथेटर में जो स्टेंट आगे लगा हुआ है उसको इन्फ्लेट कर दिया जाता है, और वो इन्फ्लेट करके प्लाक की साइज़ को कम कर देते हैं, और हम स्टेंट वहीं छोड़ देते हैं और कैथेटर को वापस बाहर निकाल देते हैं. इससे प्लाक का साइज़ हमेशा कम रहेगा. नेक्स्ट इज कैच, दैट इज़ कॉर्नरी आर्टरी बाईपास ग्राफ्टिंग. इसमें इंटरनल मेमोरी आर्टरीज़ या रेडियल आर्टरीज़ बाईपास करने के लिए यूज़ की जाती हैं, और जो स्टेनोज्ड आर्टरी होती हैं उन्हीं को ही बाईपास करा जाता है. मतलब जो छोटे साइज़ की आर्टरी हो जाती हैं जिनमें ब्लड ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई नहीं हो पा रहा है, उन साइज़ को कट करके बाईपास कर दिया जाता है थ्रू मेमोरी आर्टरीज़ और रेडियल आर्टरीज़. जैसे कि इस पिक्चर में दिख रहा है. इसमें हम ये जो इधर दिख रहा है इंटरनल मेमोरी आर्टरी बाईपास ग्राफ्ट, रास्ता चेंज कर दिया गया है और ब्लॉकेट को वाली जगह से हटा दिया गया है, सीधा ऊपर से नीचे वाली जगह पे जॉइन कर दिया गया है. इसको हम बाईपास बोलते हैं. ऐसे ही नीचे वाली फिगर में दिख रहे हैं सेफेनियस वेन बाईपास, इसमें वेन को बाईपास करा जा रहा है. थैंक यू.